Hello, my name's Ed Frawley. I own Leerburg. This video is one that I filmed a number of years ago with Michael Ellis, one of the best dog trainers in the United States and a friend of ours. This video is about how decoys can use personal pressure on dogs when they're training them to do bite work. There's a lot that goes into that, and there's a lot of subtleties. New dog training decoys have a lot to learn, and a lot of them have a bit of a problem learning how to manage their personal pressure that they're putting on young dogs that are just starting out in training. I went to my first Schutzen seminar back in 1974, and I've seen a million guys that want to go out and learn to be decoys, and they don't understand the subtleties of their personal pressure that they're putting on a young dog. Actually, Michael's going to talk a lot about it here. You're going to learn a lot if you have an interest in doing decoy work, but just as important, if you have a young dog and you're taking him to a club someplace or to a trainer someplace, you need to know what's good training, what's bad training, what's defensive training, how much is too much personal pressure. You need to know that on your dog, because mistakes there can have a long, long afterlife. Just trust me. So with that said, I'm going to move on, but I want to mention before I do that we just released a seminar that I filmed here at Leerburg with Michael on protection dog training a number of years ago. We're also about to release some online courses that I filmed, starting with new dogs and new trainers, and we'll make that available too. If you're not on our mailing list, go and sign up for our mailing list, because that's where I announce all the new courses that we put out. And we also have really good sales on the products and the courses. And there are a lot of times when we offer free shipping. So with that said, I'm going to step aside and you're going to see Michael talk about this.
The traditional thing is when we're working a dog, the more frontal, or the more I'm facing the dog and looking at the dog, the more personal pressure I'm putting on the dog, right? So on your list, you have a category called stressors, and I break it down into environmental stressors, physical stressors, and personal pressure type stressors, right? And personal pressure is direct intensity from the helper, right? So if I turn and face my dog and stare at the dog, I'm putting a lot of personal pressure on the dog. Here's the front of my body. I'm showing you the front of my body. I'm showing you direct eye contact. All this is a ton of personal pressure, right? And so what we tend to do is when we want to make a dog feel less threatened, we turn sideways, we move laterally, we turn our head, we do what I call diffused attention, meaning I don't look directly at the dog, I look over his head or behind him, so I can see him in my peripheral vision. Like, you can tell when I'm looking you right in the eyes, as opposed to when I'm looking at you but I'm looking past you. And then when I look right at you, you know it, and when I look past you, you know it. And dogs do too. Right? So we do a whole host of these things to alleviate some of that direct pressure. So the better decoys, what they wind up doing is they may be giving, the less skilled you are, what happens a lot when you're learning to decoy is you want to watch the dog to see how the dog's responding. You know, you're trying to figure out what the heck's going on with the dog. You're trying to read the dog. So what people tend to do is they get still and they look at the dog a lot, which is a lot of personal pressure. So beginning helpers almost always stare at the dog a whole bunch and don't move very much because they're trying to figure out what's going on. But of course, that's a lot of threat to a certain kind of dog. So the dog sees it and goes, how come that guy's all stiff and staring at me, right? So, but the better helpers can be very frontal, but their body language and their eye contact is diffused, right? So I can face a dog just like this, and my body language is saying I'm getting ready to run. So I'm still giving him the front of my body, but I'm saying I'm getting ready to take off. So, and he sees me twitch a little bit like I'm gonna run, and then I don't look like this. I look like I'm gonna go. And it's the same front of my body, so he sees that picture, but without all the pressure involved. And I may look just over his head instead of straight into his eyes. So I can see him, see what he's doing and where he is, but without putting my energy directly into him. Right? And so what happens is, and at first, when we start doing helper work, I counsel beginning helpers to make very big reactions. Turn yourself sideways if you're gonna look at him while you're getting used to it. When he does something, overreact, run, jump, make a big reaction. That makes you cognizant of the fact that you're reacting and obvious to the dog as well. And then the better you get at it, the smaller your reactions are, but they're timed right and the dog figures the same thing out. But in the beginning, while you're learning, we kind of want to overreact. And this is all a part of that kind of active, reactive dog paradigm. Yeah.
So in closing, I want to thank you for your time in watching this. If you like the information that I'm putting into these short little YouTube videos, we've done over 1,600 videos on our YouTube channel, but we've done over 1,900, close to 2,000 videos on our website, Leerburg.com. I've been producing dog training videos since 1982, kind of ages me a little bit, but it's also given me a chance to, over the years, I've done like 189 training DVDs that we sell. We've turned a number of those into streaming videos, and we've got 89 online courses that vary in price and in detail that are for sale on Leerburg. Cindy answers questions every day like you just got here, and we have a database of over 3,500 Q&As that people can go to search on questions they have on how they want to live with their dog. So again, I really want to thank you for your time. We don't take this for granted. We appreciate the customers that have been our customers for over 40 years. We're not a big company. We only have about 15 employees. Every one of them works hard at what we're doing to try and bring good information, good dog training information to everybody that's interested in dogs.